What is up, and welcome to a review of my favourite novel of all time and what I think will remain one of the best books ever written, and that is Cancer by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. This book is an allegory for the society that we live in. As you can see, the communist regime in the Soviet Union. But this book is relevant to 1953, to 2023, to 2083, to the ancient Romans. This book is relevant to any time period in history. It is probably the best character study ever written. You can find meaning in these characters, you can find purpose. You can see how they gradually decline through the terrible reality of cancer. You can read it as the reality of the illness itself. It all takes place in a very terrible hospital in the Soviet Union, in modern day Uzbekistan. And by reading this book, you will become a completely changed person. So I'm going to go through those three type of ways that you can read the book. This analysis is going to be part one, and then I'm going to make a more in-depth chapter by chapter, page by page analysis once I actually reread the book, and I'm going to make that video hours and hours long if I can. So let's get right into it. Let me read you a review that I have here. An allegory of the Soviet regime. Cancer actually shows that communism and capitalism are two sides of the same coin. We are all captives of the system. It's just that the bars are made of a different material. The society we have created is one big cancer ward, and we are all locked up in there, everyone in their own room, both the patient and the doctor. Some suffer, some hope, some battle, some despair, some live in an imaginary world, and some hope to break free. And when they do, they don't know how to handle the freedom, because they were never taught how to, because they are suddenly left alone, because we are born slaves, raised as slaves, and die slaves, all the way being told that freedom is the utmost human right. We are given the illusion of choice, capitalism and communism, thinking that one is the right way, while in reality, we don't really have much to do to help ourselves at all. And it is the hires of society, the people that we don't see, those that work in the background, that control us. And it's almost as if they are controlling our cancer, if they are our cancer. What I love so much about this book is how it treats the characters within it. It starts from the perspective of Pavel Nikolaevich Rusanov, and it moves through perspectives, but very irregularly. For the first 100 pages, I'm dead sure that the main character is going to be Pavel, and then it switches to a different character, to Oleg Kostoglatov. And usually you think, hold on, why are we going here? But then I realised the main character in this book is actually no one. The main character is who we become by reading this book. We are changed so much by the ideas and the thoughts of these characters in this ward that we ourselves are the main character. What I love also is how information is given to the reader. Let's say, for example, a character is confined to this tiny space of just a ward. The items that they've been allowed in, the rations, whether it's a bottle of alcohol, whether it's a book, and through the book that a character is reading, we learn so much about them, through the conversations that they have with others, because they have nothing else to do other than to converse, and the way that they lose power to not be able to have conversations no more due to their decline through cancer. Another thing that I love about this book is the lack of a female cancer ward. A modern writer in modern society in 2025 is given the outline for this book. Right, what do I do to make this popular, to make this as effective as possible? They think, okay, let's introduce a romance story where some of the male characters go and mingle with the female cancer ward. How beautiful will that be? Leaving the ward and living happily ever after in Siberia. No, Solzhenitsyn very rarely in passing mentions the female cancer ward. And the only females in this book that we have are the doctors. And the doctors are such effective and such important characters. They are basically therapists, they are basically angels, they are basically gods. As someone who was born Christian, what I'm going to say now is extremely heretic, extremely blasphemous, if that's the right word for it. But I think Cancer Ward can be read almost as scripture, as we find ourselves, we find morals that we should hold through this book. Let me read you another set of notes that I have here. It's not about cancer, it's not about death either. It is about life. It is about freedom. It is about tolerance. It is about the smell of human skin, the power of a word, the companionship of a dog that gives an invisible meaning to human life. Now, what is that? What gives invisible meaning to human life? God. And this book gave me a similar feeling to what reading something like the Bible or the Quran does to religious people. And that is very, very blasphemous, but it's just what it is. It is a masterfully crafted encyclopedia of humanism. In these characters, who come from all over the Soviet Union, we find morals, we find the basis of what our philosophies should be. And they are all so different and unique in their own way that they are almost the characters of the Bible. And there is no Jesus figure here. There is no salvation because the characters are dying. And there's no spoilers that I'm going to give you. It's cancer. The characters die. Not all of them maybe, but cancer is unavoidable. In a hospital like this, we're not talking modern day cancer treatment. We're talking a dingy hospital in Uzbekistan. It is a horrific depiction, but it's necessary for how the time was. The author himself felt this. Every word is so powerful. Every page, every description is almost Proust-like in a way that you read a page and you're not bombarded with an overload of information where you feel like if you skip one page, you miss the whole meaning of the book. No, the aestheticism, the descriptions are so vivid that you flow through the book and you almost feel like you're not missing out on anything. You feel like you become a changed person, you move with the book. It's not boring, it's not like a lot of action happens. We're in this cancer ward and that's just where we are, that's just who we are. We almost feel like a patient reading this. We feel like everything. We feel like this is the perfectly crafted book, is what I'm trying to say. This is the book for me. Just amazing. If you have anyone in your family with cancer, anyone that's died of cancer in the past, if you're scared of the idea of cancer in the past, you should read this book. If you don't know what to do in the future, you should read this book. Because there are ideas of a future. These characters that think, if only I can survive a few weeks longer, I'll make it out. They're giving me my medicine. These characters don't fully lose hope. And through them, you will realize how futile life is, how you can find meaning in the littlest things. And that is the most important thing. Having a purpose, having a goal. The moment these characters die is not when cancer takes over them. The moment these characters die is when they lose a purpose, when they realize that there's no one waiting outside for them. No one in their family misses them. That's the moment when they die. So, I recommend you read this book and come back to me. Now, the reason why I'm going to cut this video here is because I am going to make a much longer, chapter by chapter analysis of this book. Let me know in the comments which books you think I should read, and the next analysis is going to be on Homer's The Iliad, which I've just finished reading recently. So, see you.